Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chris Stollings. You know me here on YouTube as MarauderX, and as always I am your host for Operation Recap. I take some of the stories from Rainfall and I show them off here on YouTube because I'm the YouTube guy. That's kind of my thing. That's what I do. So this week, last week was great. Stories, stuff to talk about. It took me a while to get through everything, and there was still stuff that I missed. This week, nothing. Why is it doing this? I want stuff to talk about. Alright, so I got a couple of stories. Two of them are kind of like, this really could be one story. And it really should be one story, but it's not. The first one is Hyrule Warriors is getting more DLC. It is getting the Master Quest DLC pack. You can go check out the Zelda website for the pricing scheme on it. That's the thing. So more DLC for Hyrule Warriors, which is kind of good. I'm glad Nintendo's starting to get into the DLC thing, and they're actually, giving a fair amount of content for what they're charging. It's not like just a map or a couple weapons or, something for like $20. It's, you get a ton of stuff. At least according to the Mario Kart 8 DLC, which is the second story for this week. Also Zelda themed, we now have a look at the Master Cycle from Mario Kart 8. Link's motorcycle Epona type thing? I don't know. I would have thought it would have been funny if he went, old school Sega Daytona USA and could be a horse. Like he's just riding a horse instead of. But I guess that was too much to ask. And people are going to be sitting here wondering, what the hell is he talking about? Go check out Daytona USA. One of the cheat codes is you could play as a horse on a racing game. That's where I'm going with that one. So both of those pieces of DLC are Legend of Zelda themed, mostly because you've got Hyrule Warriors and then Link Cycle and Mario Kart 8. Everything Zelda themed. They are really hyping Zelda. I'm assuming it's because of the fact that they've got a rather large Zelda title in the pipeline. Their open world-esque Zelda that they showed off at E3. Great, tech demo. I'm really excited to see some gameplay on that. So I guess they're just trying to keep, Link and Zelda and all of the other gang fresh in our minds for that. So I can only assume that's the reason for all the Link Zelda DLC. The last story for today that I'm going to talk about, this is going real quick, so trust me, this is Sakurai addresses the clone characters in Smash Brothers. I've had the 3DS version for a while. I'm really surprised that I was gifted a copy from a friend, and I've had a blast playing it. But ever since I saw Lucina, I've been a little uneasy. Like, one of the few things Brawl was praised for was the fact that it took effort to remove cloned characters. It made everyone kind of come into their own, except for Ganondorf. Ganondorf's still a thing. Well, Sakurai addressed that the reason why there are clone characters is because of lack of development time and resources. These characters who are clone characters were originally just going to be palette swaps of other characters. They were just going to be an alternate costume, so you just cycle through the costumes for Marth, you get red, blue, black, green, Lucina, and then maybe a couple of color variants for Lucina. Same with Dark Pit. You just figure the Dark Pit would have just been a color combination, which I'm pretty sure he kind of is. There's a very similar color variant to him. Dr. Mario, same deal. Well, a lot of people get up in arms about this, and they talk about, well, it's taking a slot away from another character that could have been developed. Well, no, I mean, if they're running out of time, then no, that's probably not going to be the case. They took something that was just going to be a costume swap, and tweaked that character's settings just a little bit and made them a character. It's a clone, but it's a character that has their own roster spot. My big problem with it is having to defend this notion. I mean, it's Sakurai's vision and what he wants to do with it. A lot of people are taking they're having a problem with how he worded it. Made it sound like it's the player's fault, or the players are ungrateful, or I'm just calling them children, literally calling them children. My biggest problem is if you're going to take palette swaps from these characters, and make them individual, why is Alf a different character? Or why is he not a different character? His moves are actually restricted. I don't play Pikmin or Olimar, so I don't know how his mechanics are different between Olimar and Alf. I did read that he does not have access to a specific type of Pikmin in the game. So that's a change, but he stays just a costume swap, whereas Dark Pit, Dr. Mario, and Lucina get their own space on the roster. That's my big problem with it. If you're going to say that it's development time, that's fine. If you're trying to say it's not laziness, we just ran out of time, that's fine. But if you're going to insult the audience in any way, then that's when the lazy argument kind of holds a little bit more weight. Like, if you have to insult them, then obviously there's a problem. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Smash Bros. 3DS. I still have my Wii U copy on reserve. I'm, anxiously awaiting its release this November. But I'm just a little disappointed that, if we're going to have clones, let's have clones. If we're not going to have clones, let's not have clones. Like, that's just my take on it. Like, if you're going to go all out, why leave one character in these three? Or, just make them all, give everyone a clone. I wouldn't have a problem with that. That was how Melee worked. Everyone had a clone. So, yeah, that's my take on it. I rambled instead of, discuss the news on it. But it's one of those things that you can read the analogy, and a lot of people have been able to take this statement in very, very opposing directions. So, that's my question for you guys. What do you think about the clone characters? What do you think about Sakurai's statement to the fans? Do you think it's crossing a line? Do you think the fans are crossing a line by insulting or, questioning someone's design choices? Or is it just a case of we question the design choices because they don't make any sense to us and everything should be, up for criticism? So that's my question to you. What do you think about the clones and Sakurai's statement? Let me know in the comments, and stay tuned for more Rainfall, because, now that the holidays are kicking in, there's going to be a ton of releases, so we're going to have a ton of reviews. So I'm going to plug our review team right now for no other reason than I can. So stay tuned, because we're going to have a lot of fun stuff. And I will catch you guys next week. Till then, later everyone.